This factory makes machines used for food preparation. It's home to a globally recognized sushi robot manufacturer.
This is our first sushi robot.
The original model from 1981 is proudly displayed here. The machine automatically forms rice into the perfect shape for sushi. With one of these, people worldwide can enjoy sushi even without an expert chef around.
It was common sense for sushi to be handmade by a chef. While it was Japan that invented the sushi robot, it was global demand for sushi that spread it around the world.
Our story begins in 1976. Food in Japan had become diverse, and the demand for rice had fallen. In order to reduce the surplus of rice, the government of Japan decided to put limits on production. It was all over the news. One man was transfixed by this story. His name was Suzuki Kisaku, the president at the time of the company we are visiting. Suzuki grew up during the war when food was scarce. He lived on sweet potato, not rice. Because he lived through those years, he was thankful when rice became abundant after the war. This is Suzuki Minako, Kisaku's eldest daughter. This is what her father told her about those times.
My father loved rice. It made him very sad to hear about how Japan was consuming less rice per person. He wondered if there was something he could do about it.
At the time, Suzuki had worked on a machine for making traditional Japanese sweets. Was there something that would encourage people to eat more rice? Suzuki pondered this question alone. What came to mind was sushi. At the time, sushi was considered a delicacy. An expert chef prepared each piece by hand, one at a time, in front of your eyes. It was expensive and not something to be eaten casually. This was where Suzuki had an idea. If a machine made the sushi, it would become more affordable, and then everyone could enjoy it. People would eat more rice.
Sushi was a real delicacy then. If we could create a machine that would make sushi affordable and accessible, if sushi could be enjoyed by everyone, rice consumption would increase. That was the inspiration to start developing a sushi robot.
Suzuki laid the groundwork for the new project straight away. A development team was assembled with the head of the factory in charge. The team discussed what kind of machine to make. Standard sushi has two parts, sliced fish and rice. It wouldn't be possible to automate the entire process. So the team turned their attention to the rice.
The development team focused on creating a machine that could mold the sushi rice. It takes a lot of skill to shape the rice by hand. If a machine could do that part, then someone would just have to add the topping, and the sushi would be ready to serve. The goal was for the machine to be as good as a real chef.
The development team started by carefully studying the rice in a piece of sushi. When you eat sushi prepared by an experienced chef, you can taste each grain of rice as it comes apart in your mouth. The team prepared a metal mold. The rice would be pressed into exactly the right shape. The pieces came out looking good. But when they asked a sushi chef to try the rice, the chef immediately let them know that they had failed.
The sushi chef told the team the pieces were too dense. The rice was too compressed. The metal mold squished the rice into a tightly packed ball.
This is a CT scan of a piece of sushi rice prepared by a chef. The rice on the outside is pressed together, but the grains on the inside are loosely packed. This structure is the key to the texture of sushi. On the other hand, the piece formed with the mold was compressed throughout. It just wasn't the same as sushi made by a real chef. Suzuki had heard from the team how things were going. He told a member to prepare some rice. Then he told them to try forming the rice by hand. The team members attempted to imitate the technique of a sushi chef. First, they grabbed the appropriate amount of rice in one hand. Next, they squeezed from the sides. And finally, they pressed from the top. Suzuki observed the movements carefully. He instructed the team to create a machine that would do the same motions.
My father's idea for the process was to first measure out the rice for one piece, keeping it loosely held. And next, it would be gently formed into the approximate shape. And then one final touch would make it presentable.
This is how Suzuki envisioned it. The rice would be kept loose while portioned out. It would be gently formed from the sides. And lastly, it would be pressed into shape from above. This is how the sushi robot would operate. The members put together a prototype immediately. But there was a problem with the rice and the feed belt. The rice was sticking to the belt. It wasn't working well.
It was difficult getting the right material for the belt. We've figured it out now, but at the time it hadn't been a priority. The rice would stick and the machine would stop working. There were times when the rice wouldn't go through.
The team struggled day in and day out with this problem. It took a year for the next prototype to be completed. But one issue remained. The sushi rice was still coming out too dense. The problem since the beginning was the metal mold. The rice was getting squashed. There was no way this would ever match up to a real sushi chef. Development had hit a wall. How could they improve the prototype? With the team at a loss, Suzuki told them what he was thinking. It was the soft touch of a human hand that kept the rice from getting too dense. Was it possible to make a mold that had some give?
Sushi rice is formed with the human hand, so that softness needed to be incorporated into our rigid machine. Finding a more flexible material, that was my father's advice.
The development team prepared a variety of materials. Their attention soon turned to the baby bottle. The silicone used for the mouth of the bottle had the feel they were looking for. The team quickly created a new mold using silicone and attached it to the machine. It was the summer of 1981, 5 years after development had started. And the first sushi robot was finally ready. The company sent their salesmen around to sushi restaurants with the new machine. The robots were selling. But the reception wasn't what the company had expected.
While we had restaurants buying the machines, we were almost always told to set the machine up in the back, where no one could see it. They didn't want their customers to know a robot was making the sushi.
There wasn't enough demand for the robots. Even after all that effort, the machine would be a failure at this rate. The sales team desperately tried to find more clients. Their attention turned to a new disruptor in the sushi industry, a conveyor belt sushi restaurant chain. Sushi chefs prepared the sushi and placed the dishes on a conveyor belt. Customers could choose what they liked. It was a new way of doing business. The sales team invited a representative from the restaurant chain for a demonstration. He wanted to show off the sushi robot in action. The restaurant chain was in need of more sushi chefs to prepare the rice. If the chain liked what they saw, it would mean a huge order of robots. With these stakes in mind, the salesman started up the machine. The rice was kept loose as it came in through the belt. The soft silicone mold gently formed it into shape. "20 pieces were done in just 1 minute. The representative couldn't believe his eyes.
It must have been a surprise to actually see the constant stream of sushi rice coming out like that. I don't think they expected it to be so much faster than an experienced chef. I bet it was quite a shock.
The salesman offered the representative a piece of the sushi rice. He held his breath as the representative chewed the rice. The representative nodded. It was as good as a piece made by a real chef.
The robot was fast, and the rice that came out looked pretty much the same as something made by hand. But it all comes down to taste. So when the representative tried some and thought it was on par with a sushi chef, well, that meant we succeeded. It was just so great for the work to be recognized.
And that was how sushi robots found their place in the world. The sushi restaurant chain put in their order for the robots. As they opened more and more locations, sushi became affordable and enjoyed by people from all walks of life.